Hello and welcome.
Today we have interesting stories, including one about an entitled wife who let her family be a nuisance to her mother-in-law and is about to ruin her marriage. Sit back, relax and enjoy. Am I the idiot for telling my GF she shouldn't be surprised about how my mom reacted? Fake names.
Also, this is a very short version of events because of the character limit. I, 24M, have been dating aitA, 22F, for 4 years. We moved in together last year.
aitA is a big soccer fan and asked if we could convince my mom to let us host Thanksgiving this year because Portugal was playing, and she wanted to watch, and my mom is the "no electronics allowed on Thanksgiving" type of person.
I warned her that she knows my mom is picky, and she promised she would make traditional Thanksgiving food alongside the Portuguese food. She wanted traditional food because she was missing home a lot more this year.
So I relented and convinced my mom because I wanted aitA to be happy. aitA cooked all week. She is seriously one of the best cooks of all time. She made a big spread of Portuguese food like codfish, green soup, roasted pig, chorizo. Her grandma makes it herself. It's the most delicious thing in the world. Cheese, etc. And all the typical American food spread like turkey, gravy, etc. My mom, dad, cousins, and grandparents came over. aitA's mom, dad, 2 brothers, and grandma are the only ones that could make it for obvious reasons. I could tell my mom was already displeased about the TV being on, especially because of how loud aitA's family gets over soccer. However, the rest of my family had a great time, especially my dad.
He loves aitA's cooking and Portuguese food in general, so he ate like it was his last meal.
The whole time, my mom was passive-aggressive, but everyone just kind of ignored it or didn't notice.
The formal dinner is where the issue happened.
aitA's family is loud and jokey, so while everyone was talking, my mom loudly said that all we needed were red noses and this would be a circus.
Everyone went quiet because her tone made it very clear she wasn't joking. I could see aitA stopping her grandma from arguing with my mom, but my mom, and my dad started quietly arguing.
Dinner was awkward for the rest of the night, and when everyone left after coffee and dessert, my dad pulled aitA aside and apologized to her, and hugged her.
Afterward, I made the mistake of saying she couldn't be surprised because I warned her. She rolled her eyes and said, "I guess I also can't be surprised that you wouldn't defend me."
This sparked an argument until she told me that she didn't want to argue, she was just disappointed in me. I could hear her crying in the shower later.
I keep trying to talk about this because I can tell it's still bothering her, even though I warned her of what would happen.
The top replies. Original poster, you are the idiot. Your GF put all that time and effort into cooking a terrific meal and you can't even keep your childish mother in check for one dinner. Yes, aitA is right. Your mother was out of line and you let her trample everyone's dinner and your GF's efforts.
You even side with your mother for her ungrateful and rude behavior and condone it by simply telling aitA, "I warned you."
aitA is too good for you.
Stand for what is right and polite even if it means that you will have to move away from being mama's boy.
P.S.
Your dad, what a great guest and decent human.
That's how people should act. Second reply.
You are the idiot. How could you just sit there and let your mother insult your girlfriend and her extremely welcoming family in her home when she is hosting?
I 100% would break up with my boyfriend over this. Then you made it worse by telling your GF, "told you so," about your mother's abhorrent behavior.
How dare your mother be so incredibly rude?
You need to apologize and recognize your mother's faults if you want to attempt to keep this relationship. You need to step up for aitA, who honestly deserves so much better than you gave her.
Third reply. You are the idiot. Your mother was hella rude. I understand that it didn't surprise you, but why didn't you shut down your mom?
Is there a reason things can only be her way? Everyone except your mom was enjoying themselves. Why let Scrooge McDuck have the final say?
Your poor GF worked her butt off to make things nice for the family, and you allowed your mom to run right over her. Mom clearly thinks she's the star of everyone's movie.
If you want to keep your GF, you better step up and make her your leading lady. The second story. Am I the idiot because I am forcing my parents to choose between 2 options they loathe? I, F38, have recently gotten a not great medical diagnosis and prognosis.
I am at peace with it. So I have sat down with my husband and figured out my will.
Obviously, he will be receiving most of the estate. He has to take care of himself and our kids. He and I both have decent if not spectacular careers and he likes his work. My oldest brother is a gigantic D-bag. He is an addict and my parents have wasted their lives trying to help him.
They spent so much of their time and money on him, they had very little for me, sister or myself.
I don't hold this against them. I love my kids and I can understand the urge to help them with their problems. The real issue is that my brother has abandoned my nieces with my parents.
I tried to get custody of them, but I am not a member of their church and my parents cut me off when I left home to get a college education instead of staying home and helping them like a good daughter should. Their congregation helped them hire a lawyer to keep the girls away from me. But strangely enough, after the girls were out of my reach, they stopped getting any financial support. So on my will, I am leaving my nieces money. Not for them to spend however they want.
It is only to go to pay for their post-secondary education.
If it isn't used for that by the time they are 25, it will be donated to a charity that my parents hate.
It advocates for women and reproductive rights. I sent my parents a copy of my will so they knew what was coming.
They are the kind of people who would take out a loan counting on money from my death to bail them out. They are calling me an idiot for not giving them the money to take care of my nieces.
They are complaining because they are going into debt taking care of the girls.
I offered again to take custody with my husband.
If I can have them for 2 years, I know I can get them on a path away from that church. My parents won't relent and are saying that they will challenge my will if I leave it like this. Good luck. My lawyer is confident that I have protected the money. I just heard from my brother.
He is calling me an idiot for depriving his kids of help and forcing my parents into a shitty position. I asked him when the last time he sent them money to help with his kids was.
He yelled obscenities and hung up. My husband supports my decision. But a lot of my family is calling me and asking me to help my parents with no strings attached. Am I the idiot? The top replies.
Not the idiot.
I am sorry to hear about your health. But you are doing the right thing by your nieces.
May I ask 2 questions? My judgment will stand no matter what your answers are. What church do your parents go to? Because that sounds extreme.
Does the will stipulate college?
Can they use it for trade school or other educational options? The second reply.
Thank you.
It is a fundamentalist Christian church in the South. No, I don't think that university is for everyone.
The money can be used to pay for any post-secondary education at an accredited institution. They can even use it for living expenses while they are in school.
My husband has agreed to disburse the money to them. The third reply. You may want to have a second attorney review the will just in case. The fact that it goes to a charity that your parents and by extension your nieces have a moral opposition to could be seen as malicious, especially considering them choosing not to pursue college could be interpreted as them directly contributing the trust to the organization themselves.
I remember a similar post a few years ago where someone successfully challenged a will because it required them to contribute to a church they were not a member of. 100% on your side for how you have it planned, but it wouldn't hurt to get a second opinion from a different attorney to see how someone else may interpret its legality. Edit. Thanks for your kind words. I love and trust my husband and his love for our children.
We do, however, have education and savings accounts set aside for them that are only available to them when they are of age. We decided that before we got married.
The third story.
Am I the idiot for refusing to pay my husband for using a room in the house for my WFH job? I, F32, began working from home 2 months ago.
My husband bought the house we live in before we got together. He calls it his property, which is fine by me.
The house is small, has only 2 rooms, one of which used to be empty till I started using it as an office for my WFH job. All was going fine with my job till he sat me down last night saying he's expecting 30% profit from whatever I get from my job since he provides the office for my work.
I was completely caught off guard by this.
I asked if he was serious and he went on about it being his home and how he could be using this room for his own purpose since it's his property. I said no and called him unreasonable, which led to a blow-up.
I yelled at him saying he won't get a penny, and he pitched a fit and accused me of taking full advantage, even though there's no mortgage to be paid.
I do all chores in the house as well as pay the bills in half. He got his family involved in this and they're split. His mom thinks I'm being difficult and that 30% is not a huge amount and that this room is providing stability for my WFH and so my husband should get some sort of benefits. Am I the idiot for putting my foot down and refusing to pay a penny? The top replies, not the idiot. Time to immediately stop paying bills and doing all the housework.
Move into your office. If he wants to treat you like a tenant, act like one. Do not combine your money with his. Pay him the going rate of tenancy.
Start looking for a new place to live because this marriage is over. It's just a financial agreement to him.
Second reply.
Not the idiot.
Your husband is being unreasonable, and is clearly signaling to you that the house you live in is not your home. That is not a situation I would want to be in, personally. Does he charge you rent for use of the bathroom and shower? Do you charge him for sex?
Third reply. It breaks my heart every time a woman posts here about the outlandish way her husband is trying to profit from her and it's so obvious she has no support system to rely on.
Like that woman from not too long ago whose husband left her like $100 in cash to get through a week and she ran out whilst he was away on business, or something. So she broke into his safe to access emergency cash and she was worried she'd overstepped a boundary by breaking into the safe without telling him until he got back. It's like what? That's the thing you're concerned about in this situation?
Not the fact your husband financially controls you to the point you're entirely dependent on him and are basically a modern-day attic wife when he leaves town. Not the fact you don't have any financial agency as an adult, a parent no less.
Not the fact your husband with whom you have kids doesn't believe in giving you financial security but instead expects you to make wine out of water and get by on less?
This woman's whole emotional world was the fact she'd potentially upset her husband. Like, even though I don't think original poster here is that psychologically in the weeds with her stingy husband, I still think it's whack she's even here asking for perspective when this is pretty clearly a marriage ender scenario.
Like, hun. He's not going to change. He's not going to come around.
He's not going to grow up and realize he was asking something wildly inappropriate of you and apologize and promise to do better and then build bespoke shelving in that empty room so you can have a more efficient home office.
He is going to grumble and emotionally punish you by way of withdrawal. He's going to sick his family of flying monkeys on you and be passive-aggressive and criticize your capabilities as a wife. He's going to start bargaining with you and demand you do more housework to compensate for what you refuse to pay him. He's going to potentially tamper with your work, sabotage and bully you until you feel like a tourist in the home and then migrate back to your office in town. The more enmeshed you get with this guy, the harder it will be to leave.
Original poster. Take this as the pace car now and just leave him.
Fourth story. Am I the idiot for selling my son's car to pay for his stepbrother's surgery?
My stepson, 16, has a medical condition since he was born.
He used to be doing fine, but 14 months ago his health started worsening.
His mom and I put all our emergency fund towards his first surgery.
Now 7 months later he's in need of a second one which was not anticipated.
We're not doing great financially.
We don't have anything of value to sell to use the money on the surgery except my 18-year-old son's car that me and his mom bought together and I eventually gave it to him to drive to college. I decided since it was in my name that I could sell it.
He found out and was not happy about it.
I explained the situation to him but he said it was a gift from me and his mom and I had no right to take it back and sell it. I explained again but he was having none of it.
We got into a huge argument and his uncle started shaming me for taking the car, saying my stepson's health issues aren't my son's responsibility. I refused to negotiate or get into an argument with them, but my son's upset and he's been avoiding me and my wife for days now. The top replies. You are the idiot. Do you plan to give your ex-wife her investment in the car back after you sell it? Also, your son is 18, why is the car still in your name?
This is not a solo decision you can make.
1. Mom paid for part of the vehicle. 2. The vehicle is your son's vehicle and was a gift.
It should already be in his name. 3. You are creating resentment and strife in your family.
There are charitable foundations, state medical and other options to pay for the surgery that don't involve stealing from your child.
Why not sell your car?
Or your wife's. Second reply. I believe his son was on here a few days ago asking, am I the idiot for wanting to never have anything to do with my dad and his new family after he sold my care to pay for treatments for his stepson? Went on to saying his uncle is actually the one supporting him through college and that his mother is dead with all her relatives overseas and unable to help him. Also that his dad claimed to his son he kept the car in his name so his son could get lower insurance and that he found out it was sold after he found it missing and went to report it stolen. As for his wife's ex, not sure if I'm remembering, as there was 2 similar posts, but I think he said his stepbrother's bio dad was either dead or bankrupt.
Third reply.
I'm not saying or even implying original poster is in the right, but you do know that no one will perform the surgery in the US if they can't pay for it, right? Yes, medical bankruptcy is real, but it almost exclusively comes from expenses incurred by emergency care.
No surgeon will schedule a surgery before confirming insurance coverage and funds for care.
Are you suggesting original poster and wife should just wait until stepson is actively dying and then rush him to the ER in the hope they will give him the surgery he needs as part of emergency care, allowing them to file for bankruptcy?
Seems a bit risky, and stepson's condition may not be life-threatening. So, it may not be an option for them.